Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about somebody who the media has described as the man of the whole. That's the term that they've latched onto in this coverage. Another nickname that he had been given was the loneliest man in the world. And I think that's probably more appropriate. He lived in the Amazon for a quarter of a century by himself. He was the last remaining member of his community, part of an indigenous group that had run into some issues with cattle ranchers who wanted their land. This led to attacks in the 1970s, and it culminated in, I want to say, 95, when he was the only one left, the last of his group. He died. Now, they're saying that he had made preparations. There were colored feathers around him, as if it was some rite. But there's very little known about his community and their customs and traditions, because when they did have contact, it didn't go well. I want to read this. No outsider knew this man's name or even very much about his tribe, and with his death, the genocide of his people is complete. For this was indeed a genocide, the deliberate wiping out of an entire people by cattle ranchers hungry for land and wealth. He symbolized both the appalling violence and cruelty inflicted on indigenous peoples worldwide in the name of colonization and profit, but also their resistance. We can only imagine what horrors he had witnessed in his life, and the loneliness of his existence after the rest of his tribe were killed. But he determinedly resisted all attempts at contact and made it clear that he just wanted to be left alone. That is Fiona Watson. She's Survival International's Research and Advocacy Director. Survival International is a nonprofit global group that advocates for uncontacted or recently contacted indigenous groups. You know, in the United States, this isn't something that we think about anymore. But there are groups like this, communities like this, all over the world. And this group, this organization that refuses to take government money, they attempt to establish protocols, make sure that the communities have property rights over the lands that they have inhabited, in some cases for thousands of years. Something like this, you know, it seems as though it would be something from history. And we can say that even in this case, it really stopped back in 95. Yeah, but it's going on in other places. And the impacts, they're still being felt. And the loss to humanity of these cultures, it's still something that's occurring. You know, in the U.S., it seems as though it's history, even though it's not. The habit of attempting to assimilate cultures that were here before the dominant culture now arrived, it's still alive and well. The less than equitable treatment is still policy in a lot of ways. This type of fight, it's not over, and it won't be over for a very, very long time. And this is just one reminder of the fact that it isn't ancient history. It's happening now. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.